Jake Harlan wiped sweat from his forehead. He sat alone on the bridge of the old freighter Lucky Scrap. The ship made low humming sounds, like an old engine that never quite rested. Most of the crew was asleep after a long day of repairs. Jake liked these quiet hours. No one asking questions, no orders, just him, a cup of bad coffee, and the stars outside the window. He checked the scanner screen again. They were far from normal trade lanes, deep in unknown space. The plan was simple. Find an old wreck from some forgotten war, pull out good metal and parts, sell them at the next station, buy fuel, buy food, keep flying. That was life for Jake and his small crew. The scanner beeped loud. Jake sat up straight. A new signal appeared, not weak like a dead ship. This one was strong, clear. It came from a nearby system, a small red star with 3 planets. One planet showed large shapes on the surface, not rocks, not natural hills. Huge ones. Jake pressed the comm button. "Captain, wake up. You need to see this." Captain Reyes answered with a rough voice. "What is it now, Harlan?" "Something big on scanners. Not on our maps. Looks like structures, active ones." A minute later, Reyes walked onto the bridge. His hair was messy from sleep. He wore an old jacket over his undershirt. He looked at the screen and frowned. "That's no wreck. That's someone else's home." They woke the rest of the crew. 5 people in total. Small group. Tight family, in a way. They sat around the table and talked. Turn back? Too far. Fuel low. Go closer? Risky, but the promise of good salvage was strong. They voted. Go in. The Lucky Scrap moved slow toward the system. As they crossed the outer line, red lights flashed on the control panel. Warning. Automated defenses active. Small drones appeared on the scanner. Fast. Armed. "Shields!" Reyes shouted. A bright beam hit the side of the ship. The whole freighter shook. Metal screamed. Alarms filled the air. Not destroyed, but hurt bad. Then the drones stopped attacking. A voice came through the speakers. Cold, clear, not human. "Unknown vessel, you have entered restricted space. State your purpose or face destruction." Reyes opened the channel fast. "This is the freighter Lucky Scrap. Independent salvagers. We look for scrap. We did not know this area was claimed. No harm meant." Long silence. The voice returned. "You will be boarded. Do not resist." No time to argue. A huge ship appeared from behind the closest planet, much bigger than Lucky Scrap. Black, sharp, like a giant insect. Tractor beams locked on. The small freighter was pulled in without choice. Inside the alien ship, the humans stood in a line, hands on heads. Guards surrounded them, tall figures in dark armor. Armor looked like hard shells, eyes big and shiny, like black glass. Weapons pointed. Jake kept his breathing slow. He felt the old whiskey headache still there from 2 nights ago. Not the best time for it. A door opened. Another alien walked in, taller than the others. Armor had gold lines, more details. It stopped in front of the line. "I am Commander Crix," the translator in Jake's ear said. "You will follow." They walked through long halls. Walls glowed green. Air smelled strange, sweet, metallic. Jake looked around. Everything felt alive, like the ship was breathing. They reached a large room. Screens covered the walls. Aliens worked at stations. In the center stood Commander Crix. Crix turned. "Which one leads?" Reyes stepped 1 step forward. "I am the captain." Crix looked at him for a long time, then at the others. "You entered Hive space without permission. The law says death. But the Queen Regent wishes to see you first." Jake felt cold in his stomach. "Death? For looking for scrap?" Crix continued. "You go to Sorath Prime. The Queen decides." Guards took them to a small room. No windows, metal benches, a table. Bowls of gray paste arrived later. Food, maybe. No one ate much. They sat, quiet. "This is bad," Jake said. Reyes nodded. "We talk, give information. Maybe they let us go." Time passed. Hard to know how much. No clocks. No light changes. Guards came back. "The Queen is ready." They walked to a small shuttle. It flew fast, down to the planet. Zorath Prime looked green and brown from above. Cities like giant nests, towers connected by bridges. The shuttle landed inside a huge building. More halls, more aliens watching. Clicking sounds, soft whispers. They entered a giant chamber, ceiling lost in shadow. In the middle was a high platform. On it sat the largest alien Jake had ever seen. Queen Regent Vexara. She was massive. Many arms, many legs. Body covered in shining armor that changed color when she moved. Eyes big, deep, like dark pools. Guards stood around her. Advisors, too, all silent. The humans stopped, 10 meters away. Vexara spoke. Her voice filled the room. Low, strong. "Creatures from a small world, you come without invitation. Explain." Reyes cleared his throat. "We are salvagers, Your Highness. We search old ships for parts. We did not know this was your space." Vexara moved one arm, slow. "Ignorance does not excuse. But I am curious." She looked at each human. Her eyes stopped on Jake. He stood a bit apart, arms crossed, trying to look normal. "You," she said, "the one who smells of old drink. Come." Jake walked forward. Guards watched every step. Vexara leaned closer, her face huge now, eyes moving fast. "You do not bow. You do not beg. Why?" Jake felt tired, too tired to play games. He shrugged. "Boss, we're just trying to get by. No trouble. Easy there." The word stopped everything. Boss. Silence. Total silence. Guards froze. Advisors made small clicks of shock. Vexara's eyes opened wider. In the hive, one word meant everything. Only the Queen held supreme power. Only she could be addressed that way. And only by someone she raised up herself. Never by an outsider. Never by accident. Vexara stared at Jake. Then she spoke again. "Say it once more." Jake blinked. Sorry, Your Majesty. It's just a word we use, for the one in charge. It means respect, sort of." More silence. Then Vexara made a sound. Not anger, something different. Almost like a laugh, but deeper. "The word is spoken," she said. "Old law wakes. One who names me supreme must face two paths. Death for insult, or rise as chosen." She looked at her court. They bowed low. "I choose rise." This human becomes voice of the hive, ambassador to all stars. Jake stared up at her. "Wait, what?" Vexara moved many arms at once. "Release the others. Give fuel. Send them away. This one stays." Guards moved. Reyes looked at Jake. "Harlan?" Jake met his eyes. "Go. Tell people back home. I'll handle this." Reyes opened his mouth, closed it, nodded. The crew left. Jake stood alone. Vexara looked down. "You have no understanding of what you started, human." Jake gave a small, tired smile. "Guess not, boss." Vexara made the sound again. Something like laughter. The stars waited. One small human had changed everything. The huge chamber felt even bigger now that the other humans were gone. Jake Harlan stood alone on the smooth stone floor. His boots looked small against the wide space. The air was thick with that sweet metallic smell. Queen Regent Vexara watched him from her high platform. Her many eyes moved slowly over him, like she was reading every line on his face. Around her, the court waited. Tall warriors with hard shells, thin advisors with long feelers, All of them silent. No one moved. No one spoke. Jake felt their stares like weights on his shoulders. Vexara spoke first. Her voice came low and clear through the translator in his ear. Human. You used the word. You said boss. Do you know what it means here? Jake rubbed the back of his neck. Not really. Back home we say it to anyone who runs things. The guy who owns the bar. The foreman on a job. The captain of the ship. It's casual. Means you're the one calling shots. We just say it. A soft wave of clicks and hisses moved through the court. Some sounded shocked. Some sounded angry. Vexara lifted one large claw. The sounds stopped at once. In the hive, she said, only the Queen Regent holds the highest place. To call me by a word of supreme command is forbidden to all, but those I lift up myself. No outsider has ever done it. Not in 1,000 cycles. Not by mistake. Not on purpose. Jake looked up at her. So I broke a big rule? You spoke truth without knowing, Vexara answered. The old laws are clear. One who names the queen with such familiarity must die as a liar, or rise as one who sees clearly. She paused. Her compound eyes caught the green light and flashed. I choose rise. Jake blinked. Rise? Like promotion? More than that. Vexara moved forward on her platform. Her many legs made soft clicks on the stone. You are now the galactic voice of the hive. You speak with my voice. You carry my will to the stars. You are ambassador for the Zerathian Hive Empire to all other species. Jake opened his mouth, closed it, opened it again. Wait, me? I'm a scrap rat. I fix engines. I drink cheap whiskey. I don't do diplomacy. Vexara made that deep rumbling sound again. Almost a laugh. You already did. You spoke to me as equal in power without fear. That is rare, even among my own kind. One of the advisors stepped forward. Thin body, long feelers twitching. Queen Regent, this is dangerous. He is prey species. Soft, no chitin, no venom. The galaxy will mock us. Vexara turned one set of eyes to the advisor. They will mock until they learn. Then they will fear, or respect. Either serve the hive. She looked back at Jake. You will receive what you need. A translator nodule. It will sit behind your ear. It learns fast, speaks all languages. A ceremonial suit, light armor, hive colors, an escort ship, small, fast. Yours to command. Jake stared. And my crew? They leave unharmed, with fuel, with parts to fix their ship. They carry word to your people. The hive opens its doors, because of you. Jake thought of Reyes, the others, scared faces. He nodded slowly. Okay, they go free. That's good. Vexara gestured. 2 warriors stepped up. They carried a small black case. Inside was a silver nodule, no bigger than a coin. One warrior pressed it gently behind Jake's left ear. A quick sting, then warmth. Words in his head changed. Clearer, richer tones. Next came the suit. Dark green and black plates. Flexible, light. It fit over his jumpsuit like a second skin. Felt strange at first, then comfortable. Like it adjusted to him. Last, they led him to a balcony that looked over the landing field. A small ship waited. Sharp lines. Insect shape, but smaller than the big warships. Painted in hive colors. A single red stripe down the side. Your voice flies alone when you wish, Vexara said. Or with guards. You decide. Jake looked at the ship, then back at the giant queen. Why me? Really? You could pick anyone. Someone trained? Someone smart? Vexara lowered her head until her face was closer to his level. Her breath smelled like warm metal and flowers. Because you did not beg. You did not lie. You did not run. You looked at power and called it boss, like it was normal. The hive has grown old. Too many bow, too many whisper yes. I need one who says what he thinks, even if it is foolish. Jake gave a small grin. Foolish is my specialty. The rumbling laugh came again. Then you will do well. She straightened. First task. The Galactic Concord meets soon on Nexus Prime. All species send voices there. You will go. You will present papers. You will speak for the hive. And if they laugh at me, let them laugh, Vexara said. Then show them the hive stands behind you. One wrong word to you is one wrong word to me. They know what that costs. Jake looked down at the small ship again. It looked fast, ready. He felt something strange in his chest. Not fear exactly. More like excitement. Okay, boss, he said. When do I leave? Vexara's eyes flashed bright. Now. Warriors moved. They guided him down wide steps to the field. The escort ship opened its side door. Inside was simple. Pilot seat, co-pilot seat, small sleeping area, food storage, weapons panel. All clean, new. A warrior handed him a data chip. Coordinates, credentials, basic words in major tongues. Study if you wish. Jake took it. Thanks. The warrior paused, looked at him. You saved us from killing your crew, without trying. Strange human. Jake shrugged. Just didn't want anyone dead today. Almost respect, then stepped back. The door closed. Jake sat in the pilot seat. The controls looked different from human ships. But the translator nodule whispered explanations in his ear. Simple, clear. He touched the start panel. Engines hummed. Low, strong. The ship lifted. Smooth. No shake. Outside the window, Zorath Prime grew smaller. Green nests, tall towers, then the black of space. Jake leaned back, looked at the stars. He was alone now, one human, in a hive ship, with a title bigger than he could understand. He laughed once, quiet, to himself. Galactic Ambassador, he said out loud. Jake Harlan, scrap rat turned diplomat. He shook his head. Then he set the course for Nexus Prime. The galaxy waited. They had no idea what was coming. A tired human in a borrowed suit, who still called the most powerful being in the sector, boss. The small hive ship slipped out of jump space near Nexus Prime. The station looked huge even from far away, a giant ring of metal and lights floating in the black. Ships of every shape docked around it, like insects on a flower. Jake Harlan sat in the pilot seat. His hands rested light on the controls. The translator nodule behind his ear hummed softly. It fed him station traffic chatter in a dozen languages. Most of it sounded nervous. He checked his reflection in the dark screen. The ceremonial suit still felt strange. Green and black plates over his old jumpsuit. Clean now. No grease stains. But he still looked like a mechanic playing dress-up. Hair messy, eyes tired, a small scar on his chin from a bar fight years ago. Voice Harlan, the ship's computer said in a calm female tone. Docking request sent. Bay 47 assigned. Concord security will meet you at the airlock. Jake nodded to himself. Let's not keep them waiting. The ship slid into the bay smooth and quiet. Clamps locked with soft thuds. The door hissed open. Jake stepped out. 4 guards waited. 2 tall reptilians in silver armor. 1 floating crystal being that shimmered blue. 1 small furry creature with big eyes and a tablet. All wore Concord badges. The reptilian in front spoke first. You are the new voice of the hive? Jake gave a small nod. Jake Harlan, that's me. The guards exchanged looks. The crystal one made a low chime sound. The furry one tapped its tablet fast. Credentials? The reptilian asked. Jake pulled the data chip from his pocket, handed it over. The furry one plugged it in. A hologram appeared. Queen Regent Vexara's seal, red and gold, official words in hive script, translation below, in common. The reptilian read. His tail flicked once. This is real. Very real, Jake said. They led him through wide corridors. Walls smooth white. Lights bright. Aliens of every kind passed by. Some stared. Some whispered. A few backed away when they saw the hive colors on his suit. They reached the main assembly hall. Huge doors. Gold trim. Guards on both sides. Inside, rows of seats in a circle. A central platform. Species from across the galaxy sat or floated or stood. Scales, feathers, gas clouds in tanks, energy fields, all watching. Jake walked in last. Heads turned. Murmurs grew loud. The assembly president stood on the platform. A tall, thin being with 4 arms and pale skin. Name was Lyrath, from the old core worlds. Delegates, Lyrath said. We have a new voice today, from the Zorathian Hive Empire. Silence fell. Heavy. Jake stepped onto the platform. He felt small next to Lyrath, but he straightened his back. Lyrath looked down. State your name and purpose. Jake Harlan, he said, Galactic Voice of the Hive. Appointed by Queen Regent Vexara herself. More murmurs. Some laughed short and sharp. A big, horned delegate from the Drakon Union stood up. A human? The Hive sends a soft skin to speak for them? This is a joke. Jake looked at the horned one. Not a joke. Just happened. Lyrath raised 2 hands. Order. The credentials are verified. He speaks with full authority. Jake cleared his throat. Hey, boss. Your Excellency. Nice place you got here. The room exploded. Shouts, gasps. One delegate spilled its drink. The crystal being flashed bright red. Lyrath stared. You address me as boss? Jake shrugged. Habit. Means you're in charge. Respect. No insult meant. The horned Drakon laughed loud. He insults the president on his first day. Remove him. Jake held up one hand. Easy. Let's not get excited. A hologram flickered to life above the platform. Huge. Queen Regent Vexara. Her many eyes looked down on the whole room. All sounds stopped. My voice speaks with my voice, she said. Slow, clear. Any offense to him is offense to the Hive. Choose your words with care. The hologram faded. Dead quiet. Jake looked around. So, where were we? Lyrath swallowed. You have the floor, Voice Harlan. Jake nodded. Right. First thing, there's a small system on the edge, planet called Kale 9. Herbivore folk there. Peaceful. Grow good crops. Trade food. No weapons. Big Drakon ships showed up last cycle. Demanded half their land for security zone. Said no. Threatened glassing. He looked straight at the horned delegate. The Drakon growled. That is internal business. Jake shook his head. Not anymore. Hive claims protectorate interest in that sector. Queen says if you push, we push back, and we don't bluff. The Drakon opened his mouth, closed it, sat down slow. Jake continued. I'm new at this, but I know one thing. Nobody wins when big fleets burn small worlds. Waste of time, waste of lives. Let's talk instead. Trade, borders, fair deals. A small winged delegate from the Aviara Collective raised a claw. You speak for the Hive, truly? Jake grinned a little. Yeah, weird, right? But here I am. The room stayed quiet a long time. Then Lyrath spoke. Voice Harlan, your directness is noted. We will adjourn for now. Discussions continue tomorrow. Jake stepped off the platform. Guards formed around him again, but they looked different now. Not sure what to think. In the corridor, the furry one with the tablet walked beside him. You really called the president boss? It asked. Jake laughed once. Slipped out. Happens. The furry one made a chirp sound, almost a laugh. Brave or stupid? Little of both, Jake said. They reached his assigned quarters. Small room, bed, desk, window to the stars. A tray of food waited. Strange colors, but smelled okay. Jake sat on the bed, took off the ceremonial helmet part, ran fingers through his hair. He looked at the stars outside. One day in, already shook the room. The Dracon backed down, for now. The Hive hologram scared them silent, and he still called people boss without thinking. Jake smiled to himself. This ambassador thing might not be so bad. He lay back, closed his eyes. Tomorrow would bring more talks, more stares, more tests. But he felt something new. Not just fear, not just luck, a small spark. Like maybe, just maybe, one tired human could change things. The days on Nexus Prime turned into weeks. Jake Harlan walked the wide halls every morning. His boots echoed on the smooth floors. The ceremonial suit felt less strange now. It moved with him like it knew his shape. Aliens still stared, some nodded, some turned away fast. Word had spread, the human who spoke for the Hive did not play by old rules. Talks in the assembly hall grew louder. Species argued over borders, trade routes, old grudges. Jake sat in his seat near the back, green and black, among bright colors and shining scales. He listened more than he spoke. When he did speak, it was short, direct. One morning a new problem came up. A border world called Terran Verge. Small moon, rich in rare metals. 3 species claimed it. The crystalline bureaucrats from the Lumen Collective wanted mining rights. The reptilian Dracon Union wanted a military base. A quiet trader guild from the Outer Veil wanted neutral status for free passage. They shouted at each other for hours. Lirath, the president, tried to calm them. No one listened. Jake raised his hand. The room quieted a little. They waited. He stood. Look, this moon isn't worth a war. You all need the metals. You all need the routes. Why not share it? The crystal delegate chimed sharp. Share. The Hive never shares. You take or you lose. Jake looked at the glowing being. The Hive changed its mind. Because of me. Queen says fair deals build stronger nests than burned ones. The Dracon horned one snorted. Words from a soft skin. You have no fleet here to back them. Jake smiled small. Don't need a fleet today. But if you push, the Hive will send one. And they listen to me now. Silence again. Vexara's hologram had appeared once before. They remembered. Lirath spoke. Voice Harlan proposes joint control, equal shares, neutral oversight. Thoughts? Debate started again, slower this time. Jake sat back down. He felt eyes on him. Not all angry now, some curious. That night in his quarters, he got a private message, encrypted, from Vexara herself. The translator Nodule read it in her deep voice. Voice, your words on Terran Verge reach me. Good. The Hive watches. Push for peace if it serves us, but show strength when needed. Jake stared at the blank wall. Boss, you make this harder than it looks. No answer came, but he felt her watching somehow. Weeks later, the real test arrived. Not words, ships. Reports came in fast. A coalition fleet. Draken, some rogue traders, even a few Lumen scouts, moved toward Hive fringe worlds. Small attacks first. Probes. Testing. They hit a mining station on Zorath's outer edge. Took samples. Left warnings. The Hive grows weak. The new voice is a joke. Step back or we take more. Jake was called to the assembly emergency session. The room buzzed with fear and excitement. Lirath looked tired. Voice Harlan, the Hive is under threat. What is your response? Jake stood. I go talk to them, face to face. Murmurs rose. The crystal delegate flashed. You? Alone? Jake nodded. Me? Alone. With my ship. No big fleet, just words, and the Queen's name. They gave him clearance, fast passage through neutral space. His small hive ship jumped out. 3 jumps later, he reached the edge of the conflict zone. The coalition fleet waited. 10 ships, big guns, Draken flagship in the center, black and red, mean-looking. Jake opened a channel. This is Jake Harlan, voice of the Hive. I want to talk. No weapons, just talk. Long pause. The Draken commander appeared on screen. Huge horns, red eyes, scars across his snout. Human, you dare come alone? Jake shrugged on camera. Figured you'd respect guts more than guns. The commander laughed rough. Bold, stupid, but come aboard. We will see how bold you stay. Jake docked. Guards met him. Heavy armor, big weapons. They searched him twice, took nothing. The suit stayed on. They led him to the bridge. The commander stood tall, twice Jake's height. Speak, soft skin. Jake looked up. You hit our station, took samples, left threats. Why? The commander leaned close, breath hot. Because the Hive hides behind a joke ambassador. We test. We find weakness. We take. Jake nodded slow. Fair test, but you found something else. The commander narrowed his eyes. What? Me, Jake said, and I don't break easy. He reached into his pocket slow. Guards tensed. He pulled out a small bottle. Clear liquid. Human make. Back home we have a custom. When 2 sides talk hard, they share a drink. Shows trust. The commander stared at the bottle. Poison? Jake opened it. Took a small sip. Whiskey. Strong, but not poison. Your turn if you want. The bridge went quiet. The commander looked at his officers, then back at Jake. He took the bottle, sniffed, made a face, then drank deep. 1 big gulp. His eyes watered. He coughed once, then laughed loud. Fire in a bottle. Human drink has bite. Jake grinned. Told you. They talked for hours. No more threats at first. Just talk. About borders. About respect. About what happens when big powers push small ones too far. Jake spoke plain. You want medals? Trade for them. Hive has more than you think. But attack? We fight, and we don't stop. The commander listened, drank more, laughed more. By the end, the bottle was empty. The commander stood, steady despite the drink. Human, Jake, you drink like a warrior. You speak like one too. He turned to his officers. Pull back. No more hits. We talk terms with the Hive. Through him. Jake nodded. Smart choice. The commander clapped a huge hand on Jake's shoulder. Gentle for him. You have my respect. Rare thing. Jake left the ship. His own ship waited. He flew back to Nexus Prime slow, thinking. When he landed, messages waited. From Vexara. Well done, voice. The coalition retreats. You turned claws to open hands. The Hive grows because of you. Jake sat in his quarters, looked at the stars. He felt tired, but good tired. The galaxy saw something new. A human could stand in front of power, drink with it, talk to it, and walk away stronger. Not with guns, with words, with a bottle, and one stubborn habit, calling things as he saw them. Boss or not. The message came without warning. A sharp alert on every screen in the Galactic Concord station. Red lights flashed. Alarms sounded soft but urgent. Jake Harlan was eating a bowl of strange green noodles in his quarters when the walls lit up. Emergency broadcast, the station voice said. Ancient machine plague detected. Origin unknown. Spreading fast. All organic life at risk. Concord fleets mobilizing. Evacuation protocols in effect for high-risk sectors. Jake put the bowl down. His stomach tightened. He had heard stories about the old machines. relics from before most species walked upright, self-replicating killers that saw all flesh as fuel, long thought dead, buried under forgotten stars. He stood, walked to the window. Outside, ships were already leaving docks, fast, chaotic. Some stayed, ready to fight. A private channel opened. Vexara's face filled the screen. Her compound eyes looked tired. First time Jake had seen that. Voice, she said. It is worse than reports say. The plague has reached 3 hive worlds. Nests burn. Warriors fall. The machines do not tire. They do not stop. Jake leaned closer. What do you need from me? Come back, she said. To Zoroth Prime, now. I need my voice here, not on a station full of panic. Jake nodded once. I'm on my way. He grabbed his things. The small hive ship waited in the bay. Engines hot, ready. He lifted off as the station shook from departing ships. Jump coordinates set. One long leap home. The trip felt longer than it was. Stars blurred past. Jake sat in silence, thinking about Reyes and the old crew, wondering if they were safe, thinking about Earth, far away, unaware yet. When the ship dropped out near Zoroth Prime, the planet looked different. Smoke rose from distant nests. Defense grids glowed bright. Ships patrolled in tight formations. The small ship landed in the Royal Bay. Guards waited. Not the usual calm ones. These looked ready for war. Armor scratched, eyes sharp. They led Jake through halls he knew now, past rooms full of wounded warriors, past nurseries sealed tight. The air smelled of smoke and fear. The grand audience chamber doors opened. Vexara sat alone on her platform. No court, no advisors, just her. Smaller somehow, though still huge. Jake walked forward, stopped at the usual spot. She looked down. You came fast. Promised I would, Jake said. Vexara moved one claw slow across the stone. The machines adapt. They learn our weapons, our tactics. They spread like rot. My people fight, but we lose ground. Jake looked up. What can I do? Vexara paused long. You see things we do not. You speak without fear. You bend rules. The hive has strength, numbers, discipline, but we lack chaos, the thing humans carry. She leaned closer. I watched every step you took. On Nexus, with the Draken. You turned enemies to friends with words, with drink, with stubborn will. The plague does not listen to words, but perhaps it listens to something else. Jake rubbed his chin. Like what? Like a mind that does not follow patterns, she said. The machines predict, they calculate. They win because they know what comes next. You do not. You surprise. Jake gave a small smile. Surprise is my best trick. Vexara made the deep rumble. Not quite laugh, more like relief. I offer you a choice, she said. Return to your world. Take honors, wealth, safety. Tell your people the hive stands as ally. Or stay, here, as permanent liaison. Help us fight this thing. Shape what comes after, if anything comes after. Jake looked around the empty chamber, then back at her. He thought of scrap runs, old whiskey, the lucky scrap crew laughing in the mess hall. Simple days. Then he thought of nests burning, warriors dying, a galaxy that might go dark. He met her eyes, all of them. Boss, he said, if you're asking me to stick around, I'm in, but only if we get pizza on the menu. Real pizza, not that gray paste. Vexara stared. Then she made the sound again, this time clear, a laugh, deep, warm. Pheromones of real mirth filled the air. Sweet, strong. Pizza, she repeated, a strange demand from a strange creature. She straightened. It will be done. Human food for the human who stays. Jake grinned. Deal. She gestured. A screen appeared. Maps, fleet positions, plague zones in red. We fight together now, she said. You will speak to the Concord, rally what remains, tell them the hive opens full alliance, no more borders, no more old grudges, one front, one voice, and I'll tell them, a tired human scrap rat stands with you. If I can do it, they can too. Vexara's eyes flashed bright. Then speak, voice, speak loud. Days turned to weeks of war. Jake flew between worlds. His small ship became known, the green and black streak that carried hope. He spoke to shattered fleets, to scared leaders, to dying nests. He shared human tricks, improvised weapons, crazy plans, songs to keep spirits up, bad jokes that made even Chiton crack with laughter. The plague slowed, not stopped, but slowed. The machines could not predict the chaos Jake brought. A feint here, a trap there, a human idea that made no sense on paper, but worked in the black. One battle turned the tide. A machine swarm closed on Zorath Prime itself. Vexara led the defense. Jake flew beside her flagship in his tiny ship. When the machines adapted to hive beams, Jake suggested something wild. Flood the channels with human music, loud, fast, random. Old rock from Earth. It scrambled their sensors just enough. The hive struck hard. The swarm broke. After, on the damaged bridge of the flagship, Vexara looked at Jake through cracked glass. You saved the heart of the hive, she said. Jake shrugged. We all did. She lowered her head. Close now. Humanity joins the Hive Alliance. Full status, special name, the Irregulars. Those who speak truth to power, who bend fate with will alone. Jake looked out at the stars. Smoke still rose, but less now. He thought of the title, Galactic Ambassador. Started with one dumb word. Now it meant something bigger. He turned back to Vexara. Boss, he said, think we can get that pizza now? She laughed again. The sound echoed through the ship. Yes, she said, and more, much more. But it healed. And in the stories told around fires and nests and stations, one name repeated. Jake Harlan, the scrap rat who called the Queen boss and changed everything. With one word, with one stubborn heart, with one small human smile.